It is coming, monthly cash payments for low-income individuals on a nationwide basis. We have all the details in this video, so let's get into it. Welcome everybody, thanks so much for joining me once again. If you happen to be new here, or if you haven't done so yet, make sure to hit the subscribe button right down below the video, as it is one of the last few things that is still free in the world as prices continue to rise. Thank you, I truly appreciate you, and just remember, I'm here to keep you updated and to help you out in any way that I can on a daily basis. Let's get into it and talk through this. So first off, this comes as no surprise at all, because if you've been watching the channel for any length of time now, I've been calling on this for almost a year now. I've been saying, mark my word, there will be monthly cash payments, otherwise known as UBI, coming at some point in the relatively near future. Well, we're starting to see the framework put together on this plan. In fact, about a month ago, we saw a tweet from Representative Ilhan Omar coming out and saying that she would be introducing a bill for nationwide UBI in this Congress. Well, that's her, and she's still going to be coming forward with this bill. However, we have this different proposal right here that is already being put forth, talking about the framework for monthly cash payments for low-income individuals. So, with that being said, I'm actually on my wife, Corey. She's going to come in and read this to you, and I will catch you again in just a couple minutes, and you can hear this word for word, exactly the proposal that they're putting forward. So, before we get into it, I just want to give full credit. This article is coming off of Bloomberg. With that being said, Corey, take it away, and I will come back and see you in just a few minutes, and we will run through the key takeaways out of this information. All right, Corey, take it away.
What a national guaranteed income could look like. Over the last year, a wave of new guaranteed income programs have emerged that experiment with providing people with no strings attached cash every month. The general goal is to lift people out of poverty, but many of these programs also function to eliminate the income gap between white and non-white families. While these localized projects are already showing signs of promise, they only cover a small fraction of the people in need. The ultimate goal for proponents of such pilots is to build towards a comprehensive federal guaranteed income program that could fill these gaps. But what would that look like? A proposal for the new federal guaranteed income program, published by the New Schools Institute of Race and Political Economy and funded by the advocacy organization Economic Security Project, offers one potential path. The experts propose modifying the U.S. tax code to expand the existing Earned Income Tax Credit program. This change would mean including people who are not earning income at all and who are so low on the income scale that they are not currently eligible for the funds. Essentially, it would be a negative income tax, which would refund every adult making less than the national median household income with a sum of up to $12,500 a year, calculated on a sliding scale based on earnings. It would also provide families up to an additional $4,500 per child. All told, research estimate the program would cost roughly $876 billion annually. In tandem with other guaranteed income projects, such as an expanded child tax credit or baby bonds, this could bring Black and Latino families substantially closer to financial parity with white families. People are beginning to realize that for people to have real agency in their lives, to really be self-determining in their lives, they need resources, said Derek Hamilton, a co-author of the plan, an economist and the founding director of the Institute on Race and Political Economy at the New School. And that's what this program is about. It's a recognition that poverty is rooted not in deficient attitudes, behaviors, or norms, but rather poverty is rooted in deficient resources, and this aims to empower people. To those who might argue that the federal government is not set up for an expansive program, the feds showed that they were capable when they sent 2 rounds of stimulus checks to every American family for COVID-related relief. This month, the federal government will begin paying families $300 a month through an upfront refund on the child tax credit, which is expected to last for 6 months, though advocates hope to extend it. For years, the dream of a national basic income has been deemed too radical or just impossible. A Pew study conducted in 2020 showed that a slim majority of people opposed offering a federal guaranteed income for all adults. But new polling shows that the idea of monthly income transfers, at least for the lowest income, is gaining traction for the public. In a poll, 55% of people said they would support universal payments of $500 to $1,000 per month. That support is still divided across familial lines. 3/4 of polled Democrats say they'd support that kind of program, while only 31% of Republicans would. However, the majority of likely voters in all parties believed in the overarching ability of such a policy to help them prepare for financial emergencies. The results speak to the facts that the pendulum has swung, said Michael Tubbs, the founder of the Mayors for a Guaranteed Income Coalition and the former mayor of Stockton, California. He said when he first started the pilot program in Stockton in 2017, it was as radical to think that folks deserve a guaranteed income. Fast forward to 2021. Now it's a very mainstream position. The majority of voters agree. Despite all the rhetoric of what's good for the corporate sector would trickle down to all in a way that lifts all boats, that empirically has not happened. Researchers behind the Guaranteed Income for the 21st Century proposal estimate that it could elevate the nearly 14 million U.S. households who lived in poverty below the pandemic above the federal poverty line. It claims even more profound effects on Black households, which have disproportionately represented under the poverty line. We know that poverty is not race neutral. We know that employment interactions are not race neutral, said Hamilton. By restructuring the tax to benefit those with the fewest resources, it will have a heroic effects on addressing some racial inequalities, he said. We know that there are dramatically disproportionate shares of Black and white people in poverty, particularly Black children. So what this does, we're going to eliminate it entirely. A negative income tax has been proposed in the past, most famously by conservative economist Milton Friedman during the Nixon administration. A negative income tax has always been something supported by both sides of the political spectrum, said William Lee, the chief economist for the Milken Institute. The way it's often proposed that gets the broadest support is to say we need a complete replacement of the existing benefit program in the U.S. with a basic minimum level of income. That's where the proposal diverges from past interactions. It wouldn't be a replacement for other elements of the social safety net or an answer to calls for reparations or universal health insurance. Instead, it would flip the existing tax code, which is designed for poverty maintenance rather than income mobility, or income maintenance rather than income mobility, Hamilton said. Because the plan is linked to the median income of the country, indexing such support structurally would mean that in perpetuity, we are trending families towards the middle class. Other economists have proposed strengthening other welfare programs, like the child tax credit or Social Security, or paying for monthly checks from other sources, like closing capital gains tax loopholes or introducing new taxes on carbon. But having a plan like this to present to legislators in Congress will be helpful for the broader mission of implementing national policies, said Tubbs. The mayors were not economists. We are pragmatic political leaders trying to serve our constituents, he said. And we are all through the moon and excited by the proposal by Dr. Hamilton because it speaks to what we know is possible, that there's a way to structure this.
All right, so there are the details. As you can see, they want to offer perpetual monthly cash payments for low-income individuals to help lift people out of poverty. Now, we've talked about this so many different times now, and realistically, this may be the form of the next monthly stimulus checks. It's essentially the same thing. Guaranteed income, universal basic income, monthly stimulus checks, they're all essentially the exact same thing. So many of us have been calling on monthly stimulus checks. Well, guess what? this may actually be it in the form of UBI or guaranteed income for many, many years versus just a specified period of time with stimulus checks. Either way, it'd be cash payments on a monthly basis for low-income individuals. So some of the key takeaways out of this article, as you heard right there, it would be offered in the form of a negative income tax. The way that this would be structured is that anybody earning under the median household income in the United States would essentially fall into this category of getting this negative income tax, up to $12,500 per year. Now, of course, the way that it's on this sliding scale, somebody earning $10,000 a year would get far more money versus somebody getting $40,000, right? That's where the sliding scale comes into play. Either way, that's what it would basically come down to, is monthly cash payments for low-income individuals to lift these people out of poverty. Yeah. What's interesting is I'm not shocked one bit to see this, because I've been calling on this for almost a year now, saying, mark my words on this, we will see UBI on a national level at some point focused on low-income individuals. Well, this is basically the framework of everything putting together to get this proposal out there. One other key takeaway out of this article, I want to mention this, and then I'll say something else about the article. They had this random poll of 1,137 people, and they said out of those 1,137 people polled, 55% of them would be in support of offering up to between $500 and $1,000 per month of no strings attached cash payments for low-income individuals. So yeah, pretty high percentage. 55% of people would be completely open to these payments on a monthly basis, right? So yeah. Anyway, here's one more thing about the article. This was actually a really long article, okay? It was far longer than what we wanted to introduce in one video. So what we did is we read the first half of the article in this video. We're going to follow it up in a separate dedicated video with the second portion of the article, okay? So there is way more to come in this article, but we will bring that back to you in a separate video. So we just figured, you know what? It's like 12 minutes worth of reading. We thought, let's break it up into two separate videos. So that's what we're doing here. So anyway, I want to lay this out there because, as I told you, it is my duty to continue bringing you all of the latest information regarding stimulus, Social Security, UBI, guaranteed income, low-income people, like your perks and anything like that. I came across this and I thought, wow, here it is. We've been calling on it. I am not surprised one bit. So anyway, I hope this gives you a little bit more insight and information into what's likely coming, probably relatively near in the future here. So yeah, some cash payments on a monthly basis, but I mean, seriously, we've been calling on this for so long now. Anyway, make sure to hit that subscribe button right down below the video. Make sure to go back and check out any of the other over 1,200 videos right here on the channel. And of course, share them with your friends, family, and social media. Thank you. I truly appreciate you. And I will see you again later in the next video. I'll catch you later, and thank you so much.